Good evening. I'm Jonathan, and my presentation will be about the most popular methods of communication in any business environment. Now, I believe it's important to note that communication is one of the most paramount aspects in any business, which is why I put together this mission statement. Building meaningful relationships in the workplace through identifying and utilizing various channels of communication to effectively and efficiently communicate with others. Up next, we'll elaborate on these different methods. These methods are emailing, teleconferencing, and good old-fashioned face-to-face speaking. Every one of these has its different uses and advantages, which is great because the user can then choose which will fit them best. First off, we have email. We're all familiar with this age-old innovation that pretty much changed the world in terms of communicating locally and globally. The advantages of email are it's quick and easy to send and receive messages, very simple to reach out to multiple people and large audiences, and provides users the ability to easily create meeting or appointment notices. Also, with today's high-speed internet capabilities, sending files and attachments through email is convenient, rather than having to deliver information in person or by fax. It's also convenient that email can be accessed through mobile devices as well. And in fast-paced environments of today, that really is a blessing because many of us are not always next to a computer. Although, when creating an email, there are a few guidelines that should be followed. As we've learned earlier this quarter, these guidelines include planning and structuring your message, using clear and concise language, and formatting your email for increased readability. Successful planning and structuring of your message includes giving a purpose and being able to put yourself in the reader's shoes to see what kind of information you would like to see and how it is presented. Also using correct formalities when sending or replying to messages. Using clear and concise language that anyone can read and understand. Also, avoid repetition or any jargon. And formatting your email to be read easily using headers, lists, and being consistent. Next up is teleconferencing. We see a lot of this on TV and in movies, and they do serve a deeper role in communication. Ordinary email only scratches the surface of passing along information, whereas during teleconferencing, emotion, attitude, and the tone of voice can be heard along with information. It's like using emoticons while texting, except you probably shouldn't use those in the business environment. This is advantageous when you need to hold important meetings with people while they're out of town or traveling. These are convenient for businesses that rely on having satellite locations across a region. Also, most importantly, they save time and travel, which contributes to a lower operating cost overall. And what business wouldn't like saving money? Last but not least, face-to-face conversations. Nothing beats talking to someone in person because that is how real relationships can be made to last. As they say, first impressions matter because that's what we as humans tend to judge others by, which is why it's essential to practice, practice, and practice your speaking skills. Body language goes hand in hand with speaking abilities, especially when it comes to presenting in front of an audience. Posture, the placement of your hand, your stance, all of these little things done right will give the audience an impression of your confidence and will most likely keep them engaged and listening. But we have to remember, if we sound monotone and seem unmotivated, that bridge of communication between you and your audience would deteriorate. With that being said, keeping a positive attitude and projecting a strong tone of voice will keep your listeners focused. Now, I want to slightly touch on another topic of face-to-face communication, and that's fierce conversations. The four main purposes are to interrogate reality, provoke learning, tackling tough challenges first, and enriching relationships. Interrogating reality is testing your beliefs and opinions by asking others if what you believe may possibly be true. Provoke learning means to ask questions, listen, and learn things from another person's point of view. Tackling tough challenges, always best to not avoid them because they lead to higher levels of stress and will cause larger problems in the future if not addressed now. Finally, enriching relationships. The one thing we all want to work towards, and by putting together everything that I've talked about so far, it can be done in no time. Overall, these three methods are important for any company or business to function and be able to successfully communicate with every individual on a more personal level. Of course, emphasizing training to become a better communicator should always be encouraged to everyone. And this wraps up my presentation on the top 3 approaches in building better relationships through business. Thank you for listening and have a nice day.